everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are going to be taking a look at the second round of the No Limit Challenge from Kingdom Legendary War. So these are going to be all of my analysis that I did of each individual group before I took a look at the episode to see what the results were. And so keep in mind, a lot of my feedback is not only going to be tailored to what I have already seen, but also it will be refined as I did watch the episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. Next up, we have Stray Kids. God, do. I've heard of God's Menu.
I just want to... Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And you? Today, I think something crazy is going to happen. No? I think it's ready.
신메뉴 고음질의 스키즈가 맛있는 음악을 시작합니다.
Huh. Ooh. Nice. Good vantage points on this. Woo! Nice. So they remixed it, yeah, with tudu and God's Menu. Is that a giant rice cooker on the left side? It is. That's fun. It's like a little ninja. That was dope. Ah, I like how he harmonized it.
Oh, you're still here? I know, right? The performance is fantastic. Oh, this? We borrowed this from a little ant guy, but with this, we're gonna blow this place up. You ready?
There's a lot of English in a lot of these challenges, or like a lot of these routines. Wow. Shh. Dope. I mean, That was really cool. From the top here. Whoo! I find that, what is it? Delicious music. So there's the, Okay. So it actually, they kind of spoil it in the beginning. Here's your rice cooker that you see, and then they go wee, they take a little subway, yep, and we see the subway, and then we go down to this contraption, this van with mega horns. It does remind me, and it's just because I saw it recently or referenced it recently, was Gorilla ATs. They use that type of, you know, van with the megaphones, you know, so I thought that was pretty cool. The beginning is definitely like, we have something fun to show you. I also find it interesting that Stray Kids went with Do 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 by Blackpink, and Lisa, I believe, is featured on Icon's No Limit Challenge because I just saw her in the trailer. That's the reason why I know. I don't know in what way. So I think that's interesting that we have a JYP group referencing a YG remix. I think it's fun. Yeah, so it definitely gives, this feels like, what is it, like Deadpool? I think that feels like that reference right there. Yeah, okay, and then he takes it off, and he's here. So I think they kind of reference, so they're referencing like we're gonna have a sense of chaoticness about it. So maybe it's because I've never seen Deadpool, so part of the concept is a bit left, I'm still left with questions for myself, and it could very well be because I don't really know a lot of the underground Easter eggs that Deadpool is probably integrated throughout this. So it could be that maybe it's Marvel superhero because they're talking about we're borrowing this from Ant-Man. You know, that's what my gut's telling me. Maybe a little bit of that makes sense with Felix here. Hello.
Well, I'm fine, thank you. And you? Today, I think something crazy is going to happen. No?
That's a little rice cooker.
It's ready.
Oh, and it's ready.
고음질의 스케치가 맛있는 음악을 시작합니다.
With the steam in the back. Hop it down. Yeah, right there on the rice cooker. Maybe they're just in, I don't know. They're in Ant-Man world or something along those lines. Hitting it through. Now, when it comes to the choreography feels a bit safe. Honestly, but not in the, maybe it's just, there is a lot of unison. It feels like we're just choosing predictable syncopation on it. But that's just, part of it may be chalked up to what I'm used to seeing from Stray Kids throughout the season, and that's kind of hard to step away from for myself, so I do apologize for that. It does remind me similarly to Wolf, you know, and some of their choices of intensity, or I would say the subway scene definitely has a lot of dynamics within it, but here, or when they're dancing collectively, it's not building as effectively as I think they were trying to go for, but that could just be my oversaturation of seeing this type of format done already on this particular show. But I like their referencing do-do-do-do-do with the choreo. I mean, it is a bit, it's up there with, what is it, with Wolf, where it's not really, when you see the choreo stand on its own, there's an iconicness about the focal point of it, but when it comes to complexity or intensity, it's not really as intense as other choreographies could allocate for, but I understand by doing this, references to the remix that they're going for, and I know that doom, 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 doom. I think it's fun with the remix, not gonna lie, it's fun. Hitting it through, boom, boom, boom. They're also singing live, so a lot of their choices are probably a bit more muted in the chest or in the torso because of their singability in that moment as well. So we have, you know, we're not really using guns there. Right here you see a little cartoon-esque vibes. I like using the dancers there. He drops, and then it was a Changbin. He drops, and then you have two guys that are a little bit higher. Everybody else is branching in the corners. I like that choice. They frame them well. The pulls are cool. Unison from them. He's popping off. Looks great. Hitting it through. Boom, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Nice. But once again, da-da-da-da-da, it does feel, I think just with the dancers, it just feels like movement. Doesn't feel like there's a ton of depth within the movement. And that could just be, once again, I'm watching it from a screen, but so is everybody else. You know, can't negate that. So that part was unfortunately a bit underwhelming, and with the rice cooker section as well. Here in the subway looks really cool. They built it to a good place. I like that. Where it feels natural, there's interactions we're pursuing or creating a function behind the storyline. It doesn't just feel like content. That was nice, seeing how he dropped down and they hopped up. That was a really cool transition. They go and notice there's opposition happening between the two. Bang, I like that. That bang, and they all reacted, including your feature. Like that. Dee-dee-dee. That was a fun way to twirl it up to the head. Bringing it through. And then you have Bang Chan. Enter the chat. You have 2 security guards branched to the side. They go, ch. Notice that they were still and made that a moment when that ch sound took place. That was fun. And then you see everybody making very interesting choices going through the polls. I have seen people, at least on like different subway, rides that I've taken, not in Korea, but in, not really in LA, mostly New York. New York's got a whole little network of performers that kind of go in, they time it, and then they leave, where they kind of do stuff like this depending on the car you're in. So it's not unfamiliar. It definitely has some familiarity to it. Look at them doing different poses. That's freaking sick, not gonna lie. I really like that choice. And panning it over back to the outside world. Cool. Then you have, who is this? This is Sungmin, and then you have 4 dancers frame him. It feels kind of like we've reverted back to the previous rapper, not the one in the subway, but the one that was out, to that underwhelmment to an extent, if that makes sense. That was cool. Do-do-do-do-do. And then right here, not quite sure. Oh, it's like we're in the subway and we're traveling. So that's cool. Opened it up. Like that, do, cool. They branch it out. So they have that environment set up, but once again, a lot of unison, boom, making some bass choices in the upper body. And then all of a sudden we have guns. So once again, I just find it so fascinating that guns are not blurred out, but knives are. But I understand knives are a more serious threat in Korea than guns are because of the laws and how most people don't own guns. Where I am, it's the opposite. More people, probably, at least in my neck of the woods, they own about equal amount of guns to knives. But I digress. I like that where he's here. I'm just not quite sure about the connection of the guns, but the that kind of stuff. We're back to the rice cooker. And then we have, once again, he hits it, taps. Now, that's not proper gun safety. When you hold it on the trigger, you want to tap it on your neck. It's not the top 5 things I would do with my gun. Honestly, not top 25. But, they didn't ask me for my gun safety opinion, and that's fine. Also notice, if you didn't know this, when somebody holds a gun like this, it's gonna jam whenever you put a bullet in, or you have it in a magazine and you cock it. And if you have it here and you cock it, you have a higher chance of getting that bullet jammed in the barrel. And so when you hit it, it ain't gonna go off. So that's something that I learned in my gun safety. My dad would be proud. Love you, Dad. They go, they take it through, boom, drop it down, rotate it around. Then you have one of your rappers come back in the chat, pow, pow, pow. Once again, it feels manufactured almost a little bit. It kind of feels placed. It doesn't feel like pow, pow. There's no excitement from the movement quality that we're seeing here. It just feels like movement. And it could just be my how I'm framed in my brain right now, not sure. But I do like the interaction on the screen. That was fun. I love that. It reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph almost. He opens it up. He's looking through. Be coming from behind like you never saw it coming. This was a fun moment where he goes and there's ropes that kind of look like lasers almost, and he's kind of dodging them. I like this part where he does a nice little hop over the squats. Doom, doom, doom. Like the LEDs there. It's a nice little glitch effect there. So this is fun little partner work section. He's not really having to look at my other guy, which is cool. Oh, and he hits him. He, has a recoil residual effect of that. But also it feels isolated to the upper body. Could chalk it up to their singability during this time. Pulling it through, boom, and the pull. Once again, tapping her head. Guys, not proper gun safety. Not a safe way to just, why are we having multiple guns for starters? I feel like one's enough. And the type of gun, that's probably going to hold about 16 bullets in it each. And then there's that boom, hit you with that, I'm assuming maybe Deadpool reference, with 2 guns, do, and they're using actual guns. Okay, cool. Hitting it through, D, and then we're, so I guess that's one version of our upgrade. This is the choreo, but it does, once again, just feel like Stray Kids doing a cover of Blackpink's do. Ow! Hitting it through with the accent, cool. I like that with the level choice. And then he shoots his friends. That's not what I would want to do with my friends. I would want to make sure they stay alive because they're my friends and I like them. But, you know, Lino, you do your thing. You know, it is what it is. Seungmin is now back on the subway. We are traveling through. I really appreciate him harmonizing with the backtrack. That really helps showcase his vocals and allows us to appreciate his live singing. I like everybody brushing through. That was fun. And then here we go. We have like a little bit of vandalization taking place. It's fun. I like the thrill. I like the chaoticness of that. That is fun. It feels like we're more invested here. So at least on the build up, we're doing a good job. We've changed now.
It's still here?
This right here is, he's not saying this live. This is pre-recorded because you can tell he doesn't quite hit the beat pad on the right.
I know, right?
Like
The performance is fantastic.
it stopped. And then he pushed it. So it's definitely very placed here. That's fine. It is what it is. I do think Felix may have been talking live in the microphone. He also doesn't have a mic. So he would have to hold up the mic if he was in fact doing it. He says, JYP, was it Pablo? Pablo, 사랑해요. JYP, I guess JYP, and he's like, hey, that was fun. It says, 아이고, 이거 앤트맨 한테 빌린 건데. So it's like we're gonna blow this place up. So he's borrowing something from Ant-Man. I love the fact we went from a small figurine to a really big version. And then this right here, the sheer number really helps make it very full. Of course, pyrotechnics, great lighting choice. Feels very full. Love that. Switching through DDD, and look at the complexity, DDD. So I've talked about this quite a few times. I'll just reference it here in case we, you know, if we're, I don't know, my bad, if this does sound like a bit redundant, but I do talk about this. Whenever you do choose to do more unison choreo, complexity of content is what's really going to help keep it captivating, and that's exactly what they're doing, which is why this part doesn't quite feel so, a bit like, you know, kind of plateau in movement quality in comparison to some of the earlier sections that we did see. There's not a ton of charisma outside of the vocalization. I think their environment setting of that, the vocals and the rap that's happening, I think that there's a disconnect happening between the two, but here it feels more unified. And I think that's probably why I'm enjoying this section more. Like the switch lines there. Super nice, bringing it up. Let me go back and actually talk about the content. I like that. Boom, ho. Notice they go from low to high. Really nice choice. Swing, swing. And then from there, immediately doing a nice heel twist and creating an opposition of the upper body. That's really fun. Nice little Indian top rock. Stray Kids, great range in the rotation. Then immediately switching lines. Swinging, great usage of the torso in swinging those arms, using the back. And they go and branch it. You have one center point, everybody branching to the outside and then back to the inside. Looks great. There's a nice little wave to create a nice brrr on the sound. Yeah. And then Felix doing some fan service for the stays and for the other fanboys of Felix. I kind of have a feeling that Felix is one who has earned and garnered many idol fans. During the course of this show, probably because of his vocals, his voice, as well as probably this moment right here. Look at all that effort he's put in to be able to have that defined figure. Way to go, sir. You know, I mean, let's just give credit where credit is due. Fantastic job on physically training for that moment right there. But everybody's dropped low. Then you have Stray Kids have their nice moment. Shh. Tukuwa, tukuwa, tukuwa. It's like, it's like, it's hot, I guess, right? Fire. So nice auto tune on this. I don't mind it. It feels different. You have somebody near that top there too. Stray Kids, and that low-key looks like a Nerf, like a really big Nerf water gun. I think it's fun. You have Stray Kids, very militant. You have the columns really branch and march it forward. Then you have Stray Kids, the other members near that front line. Looks super fun. All around the world. Wow, wow, wow. Nice pulls and chugs happening there. Love that. Stray Kids, and we have some guys hanging out in the corners right there. Sparks are flying everywhere. Hit you with that, then I do. I like that do branching it around or creating a nice moment with those arms, peeling them out. And they go boom. Love the explosion at the end. That was cool. I mean, I enjoyed that for the most part. Do I feel like this one is the most, I mean, do I feel like environmentally we utilized our concept as effectively? That's a bit more questionable because remember, I try not to go off of concepts or universal concepts. I think are going to be a little bit easier for your audience to latch onto. An example being B2B, there are people who are being filmed and there are people who are not being filmed. And even then they had just very minor discrepancies of things that could make it a bit complicated on who am I referencing when. In this case, I did see a Deadpool reference, but even though Deadpool is within my culture of pop culture, I have not seen it because it is a bit raunchy. So it's just not something I've been interested in watching for myself, but I know a lot of people have seen it, so they probably really appreciated that. But if you just look at things in concept and execution of it, it should have been in a situation where they could have made the concept more universal and we're good guys, you know, taking a crazy approach to saving the world. I don't know if that was really what their intention was, wrecking havoc, something along those lines, but making it a lot more clear on the plan A to plan B options. I think it's just my one in general note. Will they score well? I mean, if they do, it wouldn't surprise me. If they don't, also wouldn't surprise me. I would say this is about an average performance from Stray Kids, but also a performance that they did in a previous challenge that I thought was phenomenal. Got him 6th place. So I don't know how the judges are going to look at this, but for me, it's not, I don't see this one as being our winner of the night from an expert standpoint, but they didn't ask me for my opinion. But anyway. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you want to see more of my analysis or perspective on any of these groups through their time on Kingdom Legendary War, I have some challenges that just could not make their way onto YouTube due to copyright, but they are on Patreon waiting for you, as well as full episode reactions to boot with refined feedback. So once again, my name is Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.